Welcome to my channel, it's Egwin here from Beyond Systems. Today I want to share a really simple exercise with you that you can use on a daily basis to harmonize yourself, to equalize tension in the body, and to reduce stress, as well as even balance unwanted or really taxing emotions like fear, anxiety, depression, anger, and stuff like that. I'm going to explain how this works in a second. Right now, let's just jump right into the exercise, which is shaking. Now, shaking is something that has been used to balance the body and the physiology for many centuries in a lot of different cultures. Whether we're talking about a slight different form of that in form of Sufi dance with all the spinning, or we're talking about yoga, we're talking about Qigong, many different cultures picked up on that. Also many shamanic traditions and so on. And there is a ton of research to actually back the effects up. Right now, let's jump right into the exercise so that you have this simple tool readily available for every single day. Let's stand with your inside edges of the feet roughly parallel towards each other, and we want to stand pretty much hip wide apart. So standing all the way out like this would be a little bit too far. Bringing the feet all the way together would be not enough. So you really want to look for roughly a hip wide stance, inside edges of the feet parallel. Now, why inside edges of the feet parallel? See, what we're going to do is we're going to bounce up and down, basically. When we do this, see, I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to bend my hips, bend my knees, bend my ankles. And now it's very important that my toes do not point out to the side, whereas the rest of the body sort of pushes down forward, because this can often create a lot of unwanted tension and pressure in the knees and in the menisci of my knees, which is why we want to align the direction of the toes with the flexion direction of ankle, knees, and hip joints. So that's why we are using this posture. I'm going to show it from different angles. See, when we are standing like this, the rest of the body is pretty much upright. There is no specific posture, no specific pulling the shoulders back or anything like that. Just stand as relaxed and upright as possible. And now from here, we're going to start with a gentle bounce. To do this, sink a little bit into your knees, just a tiny little bit, and then start this bouncing action. To actually do this properly, rather than thinking up and down, intent your knees forward and intent your knees backwards. This reduces the pressure, the tension needed in the leg muscles, in your quads, in your glutes, in your calves. It reduces the tension needed, thus also reduces the pressure in the joints. So when we do this, we really have the motor for all of this action down here in our hip and leg area. The upper body just simply bounces with the occasion. The arms are completely relaxed. They bounce on the left and on the right. And I strongly suggest to relax your jaw. You can keep your tongue on the hard palate if you want, but basically you want to relax your jaw, you want to relax the body, and you want to make sure that the whole spine goes into a nice wave type action. That's not something you have to do actively. It's just something you have to allow to happen, rather than stiffening the spine completely and trying to do something with the legs. Not a lot of movement is going to happen. By the way, this bouncing back there, that's my sound equipment, so there might be more movement back there right now than I intended in this last explanation. Now, the thing is this: when we do this, you're going to start also to include your breath. It's really conscious inhalation through the nose, and then it's a conscious letting go, a conscious release of the breath, of the air that you put in the lungs first, through your mouth, mainly through an open mouth. So when we stand like this, you're gonna bounce, It's inhale through the nose. Become a little bit taller with that. And exhale through the open mouth. In. Through the nose. And out through the mouth. You can start with rather normal breaths. So just expanding the belly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then as you go along, as you bounce along, you'll see that your breath becomes more relaxed. Your breathing cycles will become longer. You'll have deeper inhalation and a more satisfying exhalation. And that's exactly what we want. Every so often, not with every single breath, but every so often, you also want to have an active exhalation on top of just a release. See, when we just inhale and now exhale, this takes us to what's called a respiratory resting position, which is basically that exact neutral spot of breathing where all breathing muscles are relaxed. That's inhale, and when you just let go. But from here, I can exhale even deeper, pressing more air out of the lungs actively. That takes me underneath the respiratory resting position, and that's exactly what we want sometimes. So basically, you stand here, you bounce. Your body is centered to start with. The arms are relaxed, the shoulders are relaxed. They're allowed to bounce around. They're allowed to move as they wish. Inhale. And letting go. Exhale. In. Exhale. And from time to time, you'll see you probably have the urge to, or otherwise, just do it from time to time. You inhale. Exhale, release. And then actively exhale a little bit more. Compress the whole chest a little more. Push more air out. Contract the belly. And really go for this full exhalation. And then obviously go back into an inhaling mode. Now there is different ways in terms of using voice in this. Ideally, you do not pay a lot of attention to that, but really go for whatever vocal expression is necessary and important for you. So if you are more on the silent side, that's fine. But every so often, if you feel like it, also actively let go. Use a vocal expression to give even more space, more expression to whatever held you back, whatever tension patterns you were holding in your body. All of this will help to regulate your neural system. It helps to regulate your breath. It helps to regulate the oxygenation of your blood and the CO2 levels. So basically it will help you to balance out your blood pH levels, and it will also mobilize stuck energy in the body. See, that's the thing. When we are doing something like this, inhalation, exhalation is already a pulsation. Putting this random bouncing method on top of it means that we break up tension patterns in the body. Not if we do it just for 30 seconds, but when you do it for 4 or 5 minutes or even 10 minutes, then you start to break up tension patterns in the body that are otherwise there due to emotions, due to mental patterns. See, every single thought creates a tensional pattern in the body because every single neurological impulse up there is connected to our muscle in a certain way. So whenever we do this, it's really all about neutralizing tension levels in the body, which will also help you to snap out of emotional states like fear, depression, and stuff like that. Why? Every single emotion is also, like I keep saying, a certain pulsational underlying pattern in the body that then the brain interprets and puts a name to it. But basically, emotions like anger, fear, love, joy, happiness, whatever you want to name them, they all have certain intercommunications between the cells. They all have certain tension patterns, and every single cell reacts in a specific individualistic way to those. So it's very important to understand that breaking out of emotional patterns also means breaking out of a tension pattern on top of that. Now, the next thing, when we do this, there are obviously a lot of possible variations, and I suggest you use them. Do not just go for a bounce and then not switching it up. You can start with this basic bounce. Inhale, exhale. Obviously, I'm just going to do it very short right now. And then you can sometimes, not all the time, sometimes in the inhalation, also lift the heels off the ground and have them drop back down again. So it's also make sure that your breath is not 100% linked with the movement. What does this mean? This means that when we go for an inhalation, there is maybe 3, 4, 6, 8 bounces happening for one inhalation. And then again, maybe 5, 6, 8, 10 bounces happening for the exhalation, however deep your breathing cycle actually is at that specific moment. And also switch that up. Sometimes go for more bounces on the exhalation than on the inhalation, or vice versa. So really be creative with this, really break it up and really introduce those different vibrational states into the body. This helps to go back into a more balanced and neutral state. You can also, the main thing is bouncing in the middle, but you can also switch from one side to the other and slightly turn the body while you bounce. Maybe actively lifting the shoulders in some of the inhalations and letting them drop back down again, so that you actually don't just bounce in this straight line, but you also create different angles in the hips, different angles in your chest area. Especially the chest holds a lot of tension in the intercostal muscles, especially when you're stressed or when you're anxious or in a fear or depressed state. So to reach all of those areas, really mix it up. Use different angles, use different positions to work with. That's extremely important. Another thing that you can do in all of this shaking method is you need to close it in a certain way. So you bounce, say for 5 minutes, bounce around, you do your exercise, and then you literally just, okay, I'm done. That's not how to end this. So the way to end exercises like this properly is you slowly calm down the bounce. You finish with a couple of deep inhalations and exhalations. You can now, to get even more air into the lung and to balance the whole body even more, to emphasize that grounding more and to harmonize the body, go for an inhalation, lifting the arms up. Slightly looking up. Exhalation. Work with a little bit of imagery here and literally almost brush off all the remaining stuck energies, all the remaining things that you perceive, okay, I want those gone. I want those tension patterns gone. I want that that cloud of stress that's still lurking around in front of me gone. And so you inhale, basically fresh, clean, and breathe out. This now is the time to do a couple of full breaths, meaning with an inhalation that's pretty full, say 95% of inhalation, and also a full and conscious exhalation. See, I'm squatting down a little more, almost brushing this off towards the ground, also rounding my back and really pressing air out actively as well. Do this, depending on how long you've been bouncing, for 3 or 5 times. So 3 or 5 repetitions of that. Then stand back up and just give yourself a couple of neutral breaths. Inhalation and release. Exhalation to the respiratory resting position. Inhale and release. And just focus on that light sensation, on filling your body with this light sensation of a fresh, clean inhalation, and the body actually taking this new state of openness, this relaxedness, and define at that point, okay, I want to work from here. I want to be in this neutral state. That's my foundation from where I'll take the rest of the day. All right, so that's this shaking method in a nutshell. There's a lot more to say about it, but that's it in a nutshell. Like I said, it balances hormones, it balances your central nervous system. It also balances your breathing, and most importantly, your tension patterns in the body. Hence, it allows you to snap out of unwanted emotions that are there. Now, the next very important thing to understand with something like this is also that whenever you want to do it, you do it, if you have the space for it. This is not an exercise where I'd say, do it every single day at the same time. If you can build a certain regularity to it, awesome. Other than that, whenever you feel you need it, you can use this exercise, even on top of a regular method of, okay, I'm going to include this shaking, say, to my waking up routine in the morning or so. So there is really, it's a simple, very effective tool that allows you to work with yourself and with your body in a very positive and intimate way at the same time. It increases circulation, it improves blood flow, it improves lymphatic flow, and it really helps reducing tension patterns and refocusing on something positive and filling yourself up with that. All right, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box down below. If you think that this video might be of help to someone else, please share it. And also click the like and subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to stay up to date with more things like this or my daily movement nuggets that I post on a weekly basis on this channel here, and so on and so on. Everything that has to do with health, with well-being, with the body, with your mind, with energy, with consciousness, that's what you find on my channel. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful time and see you around soon. Bye, guys.